Folks, this is Retro Reload. I'm your host, Dash V, and I photograph zombies. With me today, I have T. Pugmire.
Hi.
And I also have with me Red Beard Gamer.
Hi guys. I'm currently not Red Beard Gamer because I'm clean shaven again.
Red bearded, clean shaven gamer. I don't know, that sounded funny in my head, but then when I hear it out loud, it doesn't sound so funny. Anyway, in post, we'll put crickets in there so it won't seem so hard. But we've got a couple updates today for news. One of them is actually that there is a Super Mario Maker update that's going to be available on the 4th. Tyler, won't you tell us a little bit about that, since you were the one that sent me the information earlier?
Yeah, so Nintendo, they posted this on Facebook this morning. At least that's where I found it first. So there's an update coming to Mario Maker, as you said, on November 4th. It's going to be a free update, so you don't need to pay. It's not DLC, you don't need to pay for it or anything. There's only a couple things that really have to do with actually gameplay. The first is they're going to add like checkpoints. So you can, like, once you reach a certain point, you don't have to go back. If you die, you don't have to go back to the beginning again, which is handy because some of these levels are getting pretty long.
Yeah.
So there's that. The other thing that has to do with gameplay is if you combine a mushroom with a fire flower, and then you place that in a block. If you're small Mario and you hit the block, you'll get a mushroom. If you're the big Mario and you hit it, you get a fire flower.
That's cool.
So yeah, that's kind of interesting that way.
Yeah. That was the only stackable, or not really stackable, but conditional power-up combo that they showed. But I wouldn't be surprised if that held true for other things, like in Super Mario 3. Probably, you can do mushroom and leaf and that kind of thing. So I assume that other power-ups are also, able to be used in a similar way. But we'll have to see on the 4th when it drops.
Yeah, I mean I didn't think of that, but you're probably right.
You think it was one of the first things they added to the game was that, but at least it's here now.
Yeah. The rest of it is more sort of there's a new course world categories, which is one of them will be levels made by Nintendo themselves.
Yep, the official, right? There'll be an official spot.
Yeah, and then there's another one that's like event course. I don't really understand that one. I'm not sure how that's gonna.
Yeah, so what event course is every now and then Nintendo's gonna either already has or will, ongoing support special events promoting Super Mario Maker. And in fact, when the events courses become available, you're actually going to be able to play some courses that were submitted by Facebook themselves during the beta testing of Super Mario Maker.
Interesting.
So, and there's going to be other companies that kind of partnered with Nintendo to test the content and to promote the game and that kind of thing. So I'm kind of interested to see what kind of levels the folks at Facebook came up at. And it was actually the office right here in Menlo Park. So it's one of the offices I drive by every day when I go to work. So it'll be kind of cool to see what those Facebookers were up to.
Yeah, and the last thing they're going to add is the little munchers. They look like the piranha plants, but they're black. You can't kill them, really.
Yep.
If you grab one of those and shake it a whole lot, you can play the
Nat.
Yeah, the game from Mario Paint.
Now that was actually already in there.
Yeah, it's like an updated version of it or something.
Well, I'm watching it now. It's the original was flies. These ones are gnats, so it's smaller.
Well, and they also even have they have extra things. There's if you do the shake the muncher trick to activate Gnat Attack, then basically it's like a souped up version of the game. So it's like a Gnat Attack version 2.0. There's some additional challenge modes and stuff like that in it. So it's they expanded the Easter egg. Now, what I think is really interesting is even though I know this is only 2 items, this is big for a couple of reasons. One, it proves what we've all been hoping the entire time, which is that the game can take DLC. So that's definitely a positive, and it's free DLC. The second one is, I think personally that
Dash, your mic.
gosh darn it.
I can't type because I'm on my phone.
All right, is you still hearing me on my microphone?
Yes, we're
You're
good.
fine now.
Okay, somehow it kicked from this microphone to the camera microphone. But anyway, I think that the two additions of the checkpoints and of the stackable power-ups, I think that those are game changers, because I believe that some of the balance in the game was lost when they didn't have either of those items.
Especially stackable ones. Like, you go from a small Mario straight to a flyer flower.
Yeah, so I knew a lot of levels where, like, okay, it almost doesn't even make sense to use the mushroom if you're going to put a fire flower or a leaf or something later on in the level, because it's not, it's not like you have to keep it to get to the other part of the level where the power-up will be better. So I think some of the replayability of some of the levels, I think some of them were made maybe too easy, because you just put, like, oh, I'll put a leaf here and I'll put a leaf over here, because there's no real point in using the mushrooms. So I think in some ways it kind of like could cheapen the difficulty there, and some of the playability. Right, there might be areas in the level that if you put a mushroom and then later on you have a beefier power up, you could play games where, like, maybe you have to backtrack because there's items you can only get to in the beginning that require a power up you're going to get near the end, but only if you can survive as Big Mario far enough to get the power up and then backtrack. So, and then the other thing I thought was with the checkpoints, a lot of the levels, if you build a level that's meant to be a challenge, I'm not talking a troll level, but I mean a level that's intended to be like a legitimate challenge, and like you were saying, Tyler, earlier, like some of these levels can be kind of long. I know what I've been noticing in my level is any level that I have that's even mildly challenging, like legitimately challenging, the completion rates on those are incredibly low, and I wonder how many people during a 100 Mario challenge almost beat my level and then bail because they're like, well, what the hell, like, I'm not, unless I can do it perfect on one run, and not everybody is that kind of a player. So I think, the ability to go back and do checkpoints, I know for a couple of my levels I'm already thinking about how I'm going to do a version 2.0 of many of those levels and integrate checkpoints and stackable power-ups, mainly because, to me, some of my levels almost feel like legitimate Mario levels. The only things that make them not quite feel like it is the fact that I couldn't stack the power-ups and that, I couldn't really... I wanted to be more like Nintendo challenging, but I couldn't really go there without just alienating people that aren't power players.
Yeah, the checkpoint thing, I'm kind of curious to see how it's going to work, because there's some levels that are out there now that I've played that you need to carry an item like from the beginning to towards the end. So it might make those games unplayable or unbeatable, really. I mean, unless if you start in the middle, go all the way back to the beginning, then go all the way to the end again.
Well, actually, the way that they do it, one of the things that they're doing is they're updating the mechanic so that if you have a checkpoint in your level, you have to be able to beat the level all the way through from start to finish, and you have to be able to beat it resuming from the checkpoint.
Yeah.
So they have kind of thought of that case where, so you can't do something like a jerk where, like, you put a checkpoint right above a set of spikes.
Okay.
So, right, that'd be the ultimate troll thing, right? Like, oops, I died. Oh, okay, now I'm just gonna die repeatedly until I lose all my life. So you can't troll in that way. I'm sure folks will find out clever ways to troll. Like, my son built a level, and I died on it in such a spectacular way. I had to give him a hug. I mean, I was just so proud. He took, how in Super Mario World you have the goalpost that moves up and down at the end. Well, one of the sides of the goalpost is in the foreground, and the other side of the goalpost is in the background. So when he walks through it, he passes through. He took the goalpost that is in the foreground, and he stacked up behind them the jumping board, the springboards.
Mhm.
So the practical upshot is when you and he puts this huge jump, right? So you have to make this huge like running jump as fast as you can toward the goalpost. Well, my friend, if you do not nail the tape on that goalpost to make sure that you triggered the whole okay, I beat the level, you're screwed because like
Bounces you
you
back.
hit those springboards, you don't even see them there. You hit the springboards, you instantly like bounce into the pit and die. And it's like I'm like, oh my god, did you? The first time I saw it, I'm like yeah, but what the hell just happened? Right? But it was pretty spectacular. So like you have to run, jump, and time it so that you nail that ticker tape like at the exact
Oh.
moment. Otherwise, you're gonna die. And I'm like, now that is trolling, but in such a clever way. I was so proud. Like I was like, that's
Yeah.
amazing. You have to upload that level, and we have to see how many rage posts you get from people.
That is pretty good.
So.
Yeah.
So anywho, so yeah, I'm sure my point is I'm sure folks will find a way to kind of, maybe troll those things. I have a feeling that if there is a way to troll it, it'll be springboards. So it'll probably be something like the biggest troll I can see is you'll spawn in such a way that like you have to move to avoid a springboard or something like that, or an enemy will drop on your head instantly unless you instantly move to the left instead of the right or something like that. So I'm sure there'll still be troll levels with these new elements, but I think for the most part, I think it's going to give us some better balanced levels, and hopefully it'll increase the completion rate of some of our longer and more challenging levels because you've already got skin in the game. If you've got a really well placed, checkpoint, then I think it's more likely. Okay, I'm most of the way there. It's a challenging jump, but I still got enough guys to where I can make the jump. That's a lot more palpable than, oh man, like all the way to the end again, only like die on the last jump, screw this level, and then you just swipe and skip to the next.
Yeah.
So I think that they're good additions. I'm looking forward to, this is a pretty, the game's only been out a month, right? Less than a month. September 11th is when it came out, and November 4th they're releasing DLC. Actually, I guess, hang on, wait.
That's
No,
almost
That's
2 months.
2 months.
that's almost 2 months. But still, that's pretty good, right? For
Yeah.
2 months, and then they're releasing DLC.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool. Maybe we can expect to see something more ambitious around Christmas time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So
I'd like to see
Snow
some.
levels.
yeah, maybe we get some snow levels or something like that. What I think would be really, really neat is if we got some of the levels, like the snow levels from Mario 2, right? And get the little flurry guys running around.
Yeah.
That would actually be pretty darn neat. So Tyler, thank you for sharing the Super Mario Maker details with us. I'll put a link
problem.
down in the doodly-doo to a video online that you can check out that kind of goes through each of the features in a little bit more detail and shows them in the actual game, so you know what to expect. So our next topic, and this one's probably going to take the rest of the show. We might do a short show today just because we started a bit late, technical difficulties. But Fatal Frame demo is now available on the Wii U. Did everybody get a chance to download it and check it out?
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
Awesome. So I want to ask you guys first because I've been kind of talking for a bit. Jeremy, what are your thoughts on Fatal Frame?
It excites me for Nintendo. Because when you play it, you're thinking, this is a Wii U game? It's amazing. It felt like I was playing, Sony or Microsoft system, not a Wii U game. My friend was over, he was impressed by it. He's like, this is a Wii U game? I'm like, yeah, this is not your typical Mario, Super Smash Bros. This is a whole different level of game right here.
So what were your thoughts, Tyler?
I wasn't all that impressed with it, but
Okay. Elaborate.
So,
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I guess the reason I wasn't that impressed with it is because and I know I mentioned this before on the show, but my tastes in gaming are much more retro. So
Okay.
I don't really like a whole lot of the new games. But I think that's really all it was. Because I played it for, I don't know, maybe 20, 25 minutes.
Okay,
and I
so
was
the
just,
game itself didn't tickle you, but what did you think about the graphics and sound?
So the graphics, the background graphics were great. I was actually impressed with the graphics. The character graphics, though, I mean, and maybe it's like I said, maybe it's just me being me, but I mean, I wasn't impressed with the characters. I mean, there's these like flawless-looking people in this run-down, crappy-looking environment, which looked great, but I mean, it didn't. I don't know, something about it didn't mesh.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like they had like rubber skin, like it was pure perfect. I kind of have a problem with that, but now I think about it, it's like, well, it's probably more of an anime feel type thing.
Mm-hmm. No, and it is, and that's just that's the style of the game, which is fine.
But I understand where you're coming from, though. I was like, yeah, I don't like that. I want something a little more darker and rougher with the character.
Yeah, and the actual controls.
Yep.
I didn't really dig either because I mean, and I don't really know why I just couldn't get used to them.
They felt clunky almost. That's how I felt.
Well, it seemed like it was like, and I mean, maybe I'm overthinking this, but like, if I'm in this game, because it's a scary, there's ghosts and things.
Yeah.
If I'm in the game and I see a ghost, I'm gonna run like hell.
Yeah.
This girl in the game was just like the slow walk, just like she didn't care, like
Yeah. You did learn how to run, right? Because you can run in the game.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Yeah. The thing that I want to make clear is that so at first, my first 5 minutes into the game, I'm like, this is the game. Like you said, like I walk leisurely through this really freaky environment, and all these ghosts and stuff. But after the first 5 minutes, to basically walk around and get captured 5 minutes, you get into legit gameplay. You switch characters, and you get into legitimate gameplay where you can actually one of the mechanics that you can use, and I kind of don't like the fact that it takes like 5 minutes of like really kind of like a boring like walk from point A to point B scene before you get to it. But in the next one, you play as this character and you have a camera. And I don't know, did you guys get that far?
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
So you get to the part where you basically use the WiiU controller, and you hold it up to the screen like this, and the screen is like the viewfinder of your camera, and you can point the camera around. And one of the things I thought was really cool about that was that you can move the camera away from the screen, and it enables Nintendo to do some really pretty awesome things that I haven't seen in a game before. Like, so basically the tablet basically becomes like an augmented reality device, where you could do a full 360 in the real world, and you will be doing the viewfinder of the camera will show you like a 360 view of the game world, while your television is still showing you the direction that your character was facing, right?
See, I didn't notice that because I was only playing on the gamepad. I didn't have the TV on.
Oh, okay. No, like with that, you definitely lose a bit of something when if you just play gamepad only, because there's this whole other things that you'll see in the Wii U screen that you don't see on your television.
Yeah, and that's what I was. Yeah, because I got to the point where I'm taking pictures and I'm trying to find something, and I'm taking a picture of a doorknob, and then I'm like, why am I taking a picture of the doorknob? And to me that was like, why?
That's why I stopped at right there.
What was interesting was like if you played that on like the television and the gamepad, then what you'd see is you'd walk into the room, and what you see on the television is different than what you see in the camera.
Okay.
So the character herself, I don't remember her name, but the character has this ability to see like the trails of like ghosts, or the trails of like ghost activity, like things that they've moved and objects that they've interacted with or whatever. But the camera that she has the ability to actually, like her native ability is kind of weak. So she'll know there's something about this room, right? Or there's something going on, right? The camera actually will show you what's actually in the room with you, what's actually going on, that kind of thing. So if you're playing just with the gamepad, probably what it looks like is it looks like Resident Evil, only you're doing a bunch of this.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt.
But if you're playing with both the television and the gamepad, then what it is it's like if you were in the real world, like like say you're at an event or whatever, and part of you is watching it through the viewfinder or the camera, and then the other part of you is trying to like really experience the actual event. That's kind of how this game is. There's what's going on in the world that you see, and then there's the world you see in the viewfinder. And I want to make something clear. I hate the controls in this game. And I don't mean that I strongly dislike them or that they kind of put me off. I mean, I effing hate the controls in this game. Now, that said, I love this game. So it's really kind of fun. And I think, and this is going to sound really weird, but folks that know how I feel about Resident Evil and the tank controls will maybe get what I'm saying. I wouldn't say I enjoyed the tank controls of Resident Evil. But I do feel like a lot of and I talked about this before in the Resident Evil episode, I feel like a lot of the tension and a lot of the anxiety that I felt when I would play those games was partly because I felt like I had to fight with the controls to get my characters to do what it was I wanted them to do. This game, I kind of feel the same way. Like, I don't know, it's weird. I don't feel like I'm fighting the controls because the controls are fairly intuitive. I know what I'm supposed to do with them. However, they're not the most effective means of getting the hell out of the situation.
Especially
right?
when you're trying to turn and view. I hated it. I felt like you're fighting it.
Yeah, it's like you said, like if I want to turn, I actually have to like turn, right? I actually have to turn around and look and stuff. The other thing that was interesting is that if I'm too close to a zombie, I have to like step back to get enough of the zombie in the frame. For those that haven't played the game, basically the zombies in the game, you use your camera, and the flash from your camera can stun and even destroy the zombies if you flash the camera at them enough times. The other thing too is, like a camera, there's a zoom in and zoom out feature. So zoom is kind of like almost like how you would do it if you had like a sniper rifle or whatever, only it's the zoom feature on this is like super quick. But that said, still the whole like wielding a camera around, like zooming, stepping back, like the game is partly about like be positioned correctly to frame the shot, because framing the shot determines where most of the blast of your flash is directed, and which determines how much damage you deal to the zombies and whether or not you hit them in the correct vulnerable spots. For me, using both the television and the camera, I think it's a clunky and a quirky dynamic, but it's fun. I think without that, I think without both the TV and the camera, and I think if they just made it all like all you see on here is what you see on the television, it'd be a really shoddy attempt at Resident Evil. I think if it was just what you saw on the television and you just use the thumbstick to kind of do your thing, and maybe you've got a similar view on the screen. Either way, if you just go with half the experience, I don't think the game is anywhere near as powerful. But if you go with the combined experience, I was playing survival horror in a way I'd never played it before, and for me it kind of helped me identify with the character, because it was like, holy crap, yeah, if I'm in this area and I'm getting attacked by stuff and stuff is going on, and the only window that I really have, the only portal I have to that other world is the viewfinder of this camera, I kind of felt it, and I kind of felt like the oh shit and the anxiety of like I'm in this world and all I have is a camera. What how the hell am I possibly going to survive this? And so I really like that aspect of it. So and so it's weird. I hate the controls. I don't like that all I have in this world is a camera and its viewfinder to find and hunt down my enemies. But I kind of like the experience that gives, because I think it allows us to explore a world of survival horror in a way none of us have done before. So it is definitely an experience that you're only going to get on the Wii U. So if you're somebody that kind of enjoyed the tank controls in Resident Evil and it didn't interrupt your ability to enjoy the game, you might really like Fatal Frame. If you hated the tank controls with a passion and just wanted to have normal controls and you just want to blast zombies, this probably is not your game. You might want to pass it up.
Which is me. I mean, I respect what it did. I like what they did, but it's like three things. The tank controls bug me. I don't really like that genre. And I'm a lazy gamer. I don't want to sit there and move my arms around.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the same boat. I mean, I don't mind motion controls, but like you said, the whole survival horror genre. I've never even played one of those games. This is the first time I've ever actually played a game in that genre.
Okay. Well, welcome to the genre.
Thanks.
That's sad you're not sticking around.
Yeah, probably not. It's not for me. You know?
I did enjoy that, and this is a trend that I've seen in a couple of games, actually. I'm just recently finishing up the demo for Bravely Default for the 3DS. And what I liked is that it looks like the demo of Fatal Frame is content that's not in the normal regular game. It looks like it's content that was built specifically for the demo. And one of the things I kind of like about that is that I've played some games before where like the demo is like they try to give you like a piece of the game. I don't know, like I've seen games do it well. Like the Infamous demo was excellent. They took specific strategic pieces of the game, they mixed them together in a specific way, and it kind of gave you a feel of like what the game is like once you really, you know, get to speed. But then I've also seen ones where it's like you just walk through a tutorial and then you're done and the game is like over and you don't really get a feel for what the hell the game
level.
is. Yeah, or they throw so much into the demo. It's like the demo's really short, but then they throw a whole bunch of like power-ups and abilities into it as if somehow that makes up for like you don't know the world, you don't know the story, you have no effing clue what's going on. I thought both Bravely Default and Fatal Frame did a really good job of like we're gonna take elements of this world and elements of the story, and we're just gonna carve off a small side arc that can feed into the larger narrative, or you could just play it as a standalone and play the game a couple times, don't finish it or finish it. If you do finish it, you feel like you kind of had a beginning, middle, and open end. If you don't finish it, you don't really care because at least you're not finishing it because you know the game's not for you. You're not finishing it because it's a crappy demo.
Well, it seemed puzzling to me. Like I quit at the doorknob when they showed me where the first item was. I'm like, oh god, this is a puzzle game, isn't it? And I quit because I hate puzzle games.
Oh, you should have went a little bit farther, my friend, because on the way back out, all hell breaks loose.
I might have to go back to it Wednesday and finish it.
Yeah, go just a little bit farther, because as you start walking back, all hell breaks loose, and then the actual mechanic of how you attack zombies and all that kind of stuff really comes into play, and that to me is when I think the game kind of like that's when for me it became I gotta buy this because this kind of it's basically like imagine Mercenaries mode in Resident Evil, only you have a camera instead of a gun, and the only way that you can use the camera is to look through the view. You can only do it by looking through the viewfinder of the camera. So I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to go back and go a little further. I just kind of got to that same point with the doorknob, and I was just like, why am I taking pictures of doorknobs? Like, what the hell am I doing?
Which makes sense if you can't see that on your television, it just looks like a normal doorknob.
Yeah.
So, but the other thing too is after you beat that section, I saved just after that section. So they introduce another character. They introduce a third character, and I'm not sure yet if you're gonna play as that character, or if this is just more storyline. But so I'm kind of excited to see, like, is there a variety of characters? Will you rotate through a sequence of different characters, that kind of thing? The story, there was enough in the demo of the story to where you have the setup of what the story is, like what it's about, like why these characters are there and the environment and everything, but you still don't really know, what's actually going on. So I thought they did a pretty good job of give you enough to be, the story versus, like I said, some demos, they just drop you in the middle of the game. Like the Resident Evil 5 demo was horrible. They just basically drop you in the middle of a mercenaries mode village, and it's like, I got no idea what the hell the game is about. Like I'm playing the game in basically run and gun mode when the game is going to be some of that, but puzzles and exploring and all this other stuff. So the demo kind of, when I first played the demo, honestly, I just wrote off the game Resident Evil 5 because I was like, I don't want a whole game that's just mercenaries mode. I want at least pieces of the classic Resident Evil that I knew and loved. It wasn't until I got it for free on PlayStation Plus and was like, oh my gosh, there's like, that's just like one mode of the game. There's like all these other aspects of the game. Well, what the hell? Why didn't you give me that as the demo, right? Give me maybe the first mission of the game as the demo. I would have bought it, at launch. So I think that they did do a good job with it in terms of a demo. I think if you do decide when you play it, folks, if you decide that it's not for you, I would say at least play through to the point where you're snapping pictures of zombies to kill them. And if you decided after that point that the game is still not for you, go ahead and put it down, conscience, clear. It's probably not the game for you. But if you don't at least get that far, and you're not doing it both TV and Wii U gamepad, know that you're probably not getting the full effect.
So is this the first? Is this the first game in the series? I don't think it is, but I'm not sure.
I honestly don't know. I would have to go back and look through some of the lore. I do know that this game is going to be digital only in the U.S., which I think sucks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I think I've heard of it before, but I'm not sure if they were talking about this game or a different game. I don't.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't want to say anything definitively because I'm not sure. But it feels like I've heard about this game or something like this game before. And I do know that Japan gets a physical release of this game. But for some reason, U.S. is getting eShop only, which I think is tragic because, Jeremy, you kind of hit on it. I think, Nintendo IPs aside for a moment, I think this is the best looking game on the Wii U yet.
Yeah, because I don't know any game anything like this on the Wii U library.
Absolutely. I mean, this is like Tomb Raider reboot for PS3 level graphics on the Wii U.
But I have a funny story. When I finally downloaded and it installed, I booted it up, and I see it's a horror, and I'm like, damn it, Dash, what did you do to me? I do not like horror games at all. Like, I don't like Resident Evil, I like none of that. I was like, the things I do for Dash.
Yeah. So maybe if you have a heart condition, do not play the shoot the zombies section of it, because I will say this is the first survival horror game that I've played since the early Resident Evil games that has given me kind of like anxiety, like to the point like I had to set the game down and walk away because like the first battle with the zombies was just a little too intense, like, and not like intense like, oh, I can't handle it, I can't shoot the zombies or whatever, but it was like literally like I'm exerting more physical activity in wiping out these zombies than I normally would. I'm fighting them in a way that I'm totally not, I'm not used to, I'm not familiar with. So none of the old patterns of like controls or anything, like like I said, like you haven't fought zombies in that way before, so it really kind of stirred up something in me where I was like, wow, this is exciting and this is awesome, but I wasn't ready for it. I was expecting something, like you guys said, more like a Resident Evil, more like a traditional survival horror, and it just required so much kind of mental exertion and so much, physical exertion that it was like, okay, I cleared it, but now I need to set this down. And next time, knowing what I'm getting in for, I'm gonna make sure that I'm not playing it like Resident Evil. I could sit down and play after a long day at work where I'm still feeling kind of tired, and it'll kind of get the blood pumping. This game will get the blood pumping too, but it will definitely tire you out more than Resident Evil because of all the motion required to actually, take out the bad guys and stuff.
Interesting.
So yeah, definitely more. It's worth playing through at least once just to experience it, and then decide from there whether or not it's an experience you want to continue having. Me, I think it's kind of like the first few Resident Evils with the tank controls, because the tank controls were different than any other, 3D controls that I'd used before. It was very, very frustrating for a while, and I'd have to play the game in doses because I would get, it's really hard to remember, like, wait, is up forward or is now up backwards because I'm in the room and the camera angle's different and blah, blah, blah. It really took a couple of play it for a while, set it down, cool off, play it for a while, set it down, cool off, before I could kind of be in the game, be in a moment in the game, and still tank controls be damned, have the character doing exactly what I wanted to do, which, to the developers' defense, both Capcom with Resident Evil and the makers of, whoever it is that are the makers of Fatal Frame, I don't remember off the top of my head, I think that's how it would be if I encountered a mansion or old ruins in the mountains or whatever filled with friggin' zombies. I think I would, if I survived, I'd spend the first several hours, if not several days, going, oh my friggin' gosh, what the hell do I do? Right? Like, how do I, like, okay, I got a gun, I've used one before at like a shooting range, but now I have to actually shoot something that looks like a person. Like, can I actually bring myself to do that, especially while I'm like shaking, because there might be one behind me. What's going on? But I think if you did manage to survive hours and hours turned into days, I think over time you would become acclimated to those situations and circumstances, and by the end you'd just be like, zombie, bam, headshot, zombie, bam, headshot. So I expect with Fatal Frame there probably comes a point, maybe halfway or close to the end of the first playthrough of the game, where you got it. You got the controls down. You're able to be in the moment and feel the excitement of the moment, but not the anxiety. And so it takes some kind of discipline and some patience, right? Knowing when to just set it down and call it a day. And then you could probably after the first playthrough, you could probably play through this game a couple dozen times and not really even flinch anymore. So I think that's for me, that's why I don't mind the controls being something of a barrier to entry. I think to me, it's part of the charm of survival horror, is the whole, like, I'm fighting my body not cooperating with me in the thing that I need to do to survive this zombie situation.
I never really thought of it that way.
So just my particular take, right? Because otherwise it's just a game and you're just a player, right?
Mm-hmm.
So survival horror, in the Resident Evil tank control sense and in this sense, the original Resident Evils and this game were really the first games that ever actually, like, just a few minutes in convinced me I'm actually in the situation, because I'm behaving the way my character is behaving, and we're unified in that way. Like, the character doesn't know what the hell to do because I don't know what the hell to do. Well, damn. I'm in a mansion with zombies for the first time. I don't think I'd know what the hell to do. I shouldn't be just boom, headshot, boom, headshot. Otherwise it might as well just be a Doom game at that point.
Yeah.
So folks, check it out. It's a free download. What do you guys think about, switching gears only slightly, what do you guys think about this whole trend of Bravely Default does this, Fatal Frame does this, most games on the Wii U and on the other Nintendo platforms do this now. Plays remaining. Like, you download the demo, okay, it's free, but then there's, like, you only get a specific number of times that you can actually load up the demo and play it. What are your thoughts on that? Tyler,
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. I mean, I heard that it happens. Like, I know, was it the Super Smash Brothers for 3DS? The demo. There was the Club Nintendo version, which was unlimited, and there was another one you could just download, which was a timed, I think it's timed demo. I didn't know Fatal Frame was a timed demo though. I didn't know that.
I was going to show you on my 3DS, but that would require me exiting the Bravely Default demo, and I only have a limited number of plays of that. So, and I want to finish it because there's quests and all that kind of stuff that are specific to the demo version that don't exist in the full version. So I can't show you any of the other demos on my 3DS because it's being monopolized by another demo that I want to make sure I'm able to finish. Frustrates the hell out of me. What are your thoughts, Jeremy? What do you think about usage limits on demos, like only play X number of times?
I think it's stupid because at the end of the day, it's a demo. It's not a full game, so it's you're not giving a full game. It's just let me play as much as I want on the demo. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a Battlefront where it's not on multiplayer.
Well, I think it also depends on the kind of game, like you were kind of saying, like.
We could probably all get by with a demo of Pac-Man, right?
Yeah, well, like the demo for Minecraft, when I downloaded that, it was a timed demo because, I mean, Minecraft is very open and you could do whatever you want. So it makes sense in that kind of a game, I think, to have a time, to say, all right, you have it for 3 days or whatever it was.
I don't know, although I would argue, just to be devil's advocate, because you kind of were with Fatal Frame, so I could see Minecraft being like unlimited time, but you only get the most basic of things.
That could be, yeah.
Right. Limit the amount of space, right? Like the worlds are only a quarter of the size that they'll be in the full version. You only get certain types of blocks, right? Or maybe you can, maybe they give you certain blocks, but you can only use them in the context of like a specific setting or whatever, and then in the game you can use them anywhere, unlimited numbers, whatever. I still think that the whole, I don't know, I don't like timed trials, or not timed trials, but timed demos. I know Sony is really big on this whole, like, supposedly it's a feature of my PlayStation Plus account that I can download, quote, full game demos. Like, okay, first of all, it's not a full game demo if I only have half a friggin' hour to play it.
Yeah.
Right? There's no way, like Infamous, there's no way you're going to beat that game in half an hour. You're going to see a couple cutscenes. You're going to die a couple times. You're finally going to realize, oh, maybe I need to do this so that I don't die. Shit. Time's up.
Yeah.
Right? You haven't even yet decided if you haven't even had time to enjoy like one small victory to determine if you like the game.
Well, I mean, I think, yeah, because back, when games were on cartridges, obviously they weren't timed demos. You had a demo card if you could even find one.
Yeah.
And that's just how it was.
Yeah,
so,
I remember. Maybe it's because I never was aware of like demo cards and all that kind of stuff, but I did have a PC, and one of the things that blew my mind about PC was, oh my gosh, they give you like 1/3 of the game, and then you can give it to anybody else you want. They call it shareware. Holy cow! Right? So like we'd be at in school, and we'd be like, dude, you got to check out Duke Nukem 3D. Here's a couple floppies. Oh, dude, no. You got to see like the game that Duke Nukem 3D like came from. Like Doom is way better, and like there's like all kinds of like, and for a while, I didn't even know that the shareware version of Doom wasn't the entire game.
Yeah, I didn't either. I was the exact same way.
Vast it was. Yeah, and in ID Software now, I mean, they're making the game engines that power most of the 3D games that we play today, and so certainly for them to give away 1/3 of their game, it didn't sink them. So if you're giving me much less than 1/3 of your game, hopefully the purpose of the demo is to sell on the gameplay. I think, right, to sell on the experience and to make it clear that there is plenty more where that came from if you buy the full version.
Yeah.
So if you need to, time box it because you're afraid of somebody getting too much enjoyment out of the demo,
wrong business.
That just seems very bizarre to me.
Yeah, well, like I said, I think it depends on the kind of game as well.
Yeah. I think the other thing that frustrates me too is like with a game like Bravely Default or Fatal Frame, right? Like you give me a demo, And the demo content is kind of like exclusive content, right? You give me basically like a sub game for a bigger game with quests and things and characters that I can only do or I can only work with or experience through this demo. And then you're telling me I get like 15 goes at it and then I'm done. I can't ever go back and like, just go through that content again. Kind of sucks. Or if I'm just not very good, like say I don't have a lot of time, right? And because I have a job, right? I gotta exit out and exit back, in several times, and then maybe I don't get to finish the demo. And because I don't get to finish the demo, I don't feel like an attachment to. I think with like Bravely Default, the best thing you could do is allow me to finish the demo, so that I know that there's things that you do in the demo that unlocks extra content in the full game. So if you complete all the quests in the demo, and then you go and you buy the full game and you load it up, there's equipment and different things that you'll have in the full version of the game that you can only get through completing the demo. So now it goes from like, I'm just going to check out this demo and try it out, to wow, I really like this game. Oh wow, there's actually like little mini quests and stuff that aren't in the full-blown game. Now I actually have a reason to keep playing it, even if I've already ordered the game. I'm still playing the demo, and even when the game arrives, I may continue to play the demo, because I want to finish the demo before I start the game so that I have some stuff that carries over. So for me, it's just like, it's a way to kind of like capture my attention and to kind of keep my attention. And maybe knowing that there's a usage limit has kind of maybe played into that, because like I said, since I learned that there was a usage limit on it, I haven't exited out of the game. I've kept my 3DS in standby. Plugged it in every night, and I've kept it in standby like every single day when I've been at work and stuff. Partly because there's a game mechanic, there's things that happen in the game while the system's in standby. But then partly because I don't want to you only get 29 plays out of it, 29 chances to exit the game and reload. I'm on try 28 right now, so I want to make damn sure. Yeah, I want to make damn sure that I finish the game. So if I hadn't been paying attention, I easily could be on try, I easily could be, 20 tries in already, just loading up the game, playing around for a bit, turning it off. When I think about, I just have pockets of time, 5 minutes here, 15 minutes there, and the game allows you to save anywhere. It's kind of counterintuitive that I can only load it and close it so many times.
That does seem weird.
But that's the direction they're going. I mean, Sony's doing the actual physical time limit, like 30 minutes, an hour, whatever. And then Nintendo's going the whole, like, you actually get a set number of, I can load the program and exit the program. So I don't like either. I think both of them kind of, in the case of, like, you give me an hour or you give me half an hour or 20 minutes or whatever to, like, experience the game, most games, like if it's a full game, half an hour might be long enough to get through the first tutorial.
Yeah.
And then I don't even get to see, like, what the hell, like, okay, now I know how to jump and run. Awesome.
All right, create your character. Oh, 30 minutes later.
Let's use these in the context of a real level. Oh, sorry, time ran out. Okay, this game sucks, officially. Right? Like, especially if they don't let you save in the time demo, right? Like, you finish the tutorial, but they time you out before you can save. Like, that's why I won't buy a game. I'll be like, well, shit, like, I'm not going to sit through another half-hour friggin' tutorial that I've already sat through. Like, just screw the whole game. But I'm probably in the minority on that, though. So Jeremy, you didn't know that there was a max number of tries. You didn't know
I
about,
never
like,
heard of that.
No?
I'll have to turn it on now after the show and go look for myself.
Yeah, absolutely. The Wii U games do it, and the
PlayStation.
The 3DS games do it. They actually show down at the bottom how many tries remaining. And in fact, I recently got a couple more amiibos.
Which ones?
I got the Zero Suit Samus.
Are those really hard to find?
I found one actually on Amazon from Australia, so I got it.
Nice.
I got it for $14 with free shipping. So, and then another one, I found the 8-bit Mario, but with the new colors.
Damn you.
Yeah, I got that one also for, you're gonna hate me, I got that one for $16 with free shipping, direct from Japan. Yeah, it's on. I found them on Amazon too. I didn't have
Title's like
to
supposed
order
to kill
them.
you.
I didn't have to order them on eBay.
Interesting.
So I did have to cut open the boxes. I cut them on the bottom so I could kind of like fold them open, because there's foil on the bottom of the characters. You can't use the characters on your gamepad unless you remove the foil from the bottom. But I wanted them to look like they were in the case for like display, because I like the look of them in the box. So I'm able to look forward to some Super Mario Maker levels from me after the 4th. I'm going to wait until after the 4th to post anything new. That way they can have the checkpoints and the stackable power-ups and stuff. But look out for some levels that are going to have the Mega Mario Mushroom. So if you don't have the benefit of having the 8-bit Mario, we'll give you some links in a future episode to some levels where you can try it out without having to have that amiibo.
That's what I like about Super Mario Maker. If someone else has that amiibo in their level, you can use it. I really like that idea.
Yeah, I really like that aspect too. The reason I mentioned the amiibos was because there's a amiibo tap program that you can get for the Wii U, and basically it's Nintendo providing time demos of their virtual console games. So you tap your amiibo to the thing, and like it's really weird too. Like I didn't expect it. Like I didn't expect when I touched Zero Suit Samus to the Wii U pad, I didn't expect it to unlock Kirby Superstar.
What?
Yeah, I've heard that it's just a random game.
Yeah, it's totally random. And then when I touched 8-bit Mario to the thing, it unlocked Super Metroid.
Nice.
But that said, you only get like 3 minute. Like they'll drop you into sections of the game, and you only have 3 minutes, and there's no challenge or anything. So it's not like, okay, 3 minutes to escape the explosion of Planet Zeb's, or it's not like 3 minutes to complete the water level, of whatever. It's like 3 minutes, just whatever the hell. We dropped you into a segment of the game in progress. Just do whatever the hell you want for 3 minutes, and then it's over. And what's even funnier is like one of them, I think it was my Toon Link one. No, it couldn't have been. It had to be something else. But one of them unlocked the original Legend of Zelda, and it's complete with save feature. So it's really funny. Is like I can go like, it's dangerous to go alone. Take this, right? And like I could actually like get the sword. I could save the game. I could come back in the game, reload the game, right? But like I can play in like when I reload the game,
like
it has
3 minute bursts.
Well, it has the same amount of time remaining as when I saved it. So like I'll go, like I have 15 seconds left, okay, save. And then I go back and I load, it's like, you still have 15 seconds left. It's like, well, that's kind of, pointless. But
that's weird.
So if you're a masochist, right, download Amiibo Tap, unlock a whole bunch of virtual console games, and just see, like, try in vain to, if you're Mr. Nikon, you can get halfway through beating the original Super Mario in the 3 minutes that they give you.
That's just the warp tunnels.
Right, because I think he's got his completion time, start to finish, in Super Mario Brothers down to like 6 minutes or something sick like that.
Yeah.
With warp zones. But if you're me, then you're just basically like, you get to the first Goomba in level 1, 2, and you're dead.
I hate this game. Turn it off.
So I think that's all that I had for the show for today. I noticed that we're coming up on time. Did anybody else want to say anything about either time demos or Fatal Frame or Super Mario Maker?
No.
No, I had nothing.
All right. I do know Jeremy has an announcement, though, that he's dying to give us before we close out the show.
13 days, 2 hours, 1 minute, and 40 seconds to Fallout 4.
There you go.
So
all right.
Close.
Folks, thank you for listening in. We hope that you'll tune in on Thursday. It'll be our last episode of the month with kind of a holiday/horror theme. So tune in to see what that's about. Casual and Crew should be on with some really... What's that?
I think they're dressing up tomorrow on Thursday, too.
Oh, they might be. That'd be
Casual.
pretty neat.
I told Casual, you should guys dress up. He's like, oh yeah, we talked about that. So they might dress up.
That's pretty interesting. Maybe I'll join the show dressed like a woman.
Do it.
You're supposed to say that would be real ugly. Don't do that.
No, I'll pay to see that.
Yeah. Well, here's the question, right? If I was to dress like a woman, do I keep the goatee?
I think you asked blonde or brunette.
That is true, right? Like the hair.
You make a beautiful brunette. Just saying.
Okay, this just took a really disturbing turn.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave now.
All right.
Leave you guys alone.
On that note, this has been Retro Reload, and we will see you next week.